Hello everyone, my name is Kwa and I'm going to go over the steps of character designing. The first step to creating a character is probably the hardest one. Before you can draw a character, you need to brainstorm a concept for said character. What type of character are you trying to create? A gunslinging desperado? Or maybe a wise old storyteller? Is your character perhaps a villain or a hero? The inspiration for a character can come from anywhere. Now for this presentation, I will use a character that I've come up with inspired by various medias that I enjoy, most notably, for this specific case, Japan's superhero franchise Kamen Rider and the horror movie The Fly. But instead of being a horror monster, I've made him a superhero type character, more akin to the Kamen Riders. I will be demonstrating the process of design that I followed in order to come up with this character. Since this entity is driven by the idea of a bug-human hybrid, much like the monster in The Fly, I first started thinking about what type of look my character should have, whether he should be more bug-like or humanoid. I ended up with this character known as Charles Hall, or also known as Subject-006 in his monstrous form. For this video, I will be mainly focusing on the meat of the character, the monster form. Now his design hasn't always been like this creature that you see here. This entity you see only came around after fully finishing the character design process. His early concepts were wildly different. Some of the earliest concepts of Subject-006 looked nothing like this final image. They did not reflect the insectoid creature that you see here. These first concepts were of a Batman-esque hoodie-wearing vigilante. These early designs didn't quite deliver on the bug thematic that I had envisioned when I first created Subject-006. He was simply too human. So I scrapped the idea and turned him to a separate character, Moth Guy. Yes, I know, it's very creative. After this decision though, I redesigned Subject-006 from the ground up, trying to stay as true as I could to the idea of a fly-human hybrid. This fresh new take on the character was much more bug-like and ominous looking, and yet I was not satisfied, and so I redrew him again, this time making him much more chitinous than before in order to create an armored appearance. These modifications went a bit too far, however, with the creature ending up much more bulkier than before. He started to resemble more of a beetle and a slow, beefy character rather than a swift and mobile one, so I began to slim his form down. At the same time, I developed his facial design furthermore, adding teeth to his mandibles to give him a more menacing appearance. After many different concepts, I finally got him to a place where I was happy with his look. Alongside the development of 006's appearance, I also created a backstory and personality for him. It's very important to flesh out a character so that you can work their personality traits into the final design. But it's just as important to be flexible and not get attached to any one idea. Some ideas sound great, but they just don't fit the character. When you're coming up with different ideas, keep your character's personality and theme in mind, and this is very important. You want their outward experience to express their personalities. This isn't just limited to how your character looks, but also how they hold themselves. Heroic characters often stand upright, chest out, while villainous characters hunched over and menacing to show their malicious personalities. The original Subject-006, before his full redesign, was more of a Spider-Man-styled superhero. Instead of a bugman, he was just a masked vigilante with bug-based powers. After his revamp, 006 became much more beast-like and wild. Instead of having vaguely bug-themed superpowers, 006's superpower now causes him to undergo an excruciating transformation, morphing him into a grotesque fly-shaped monstrosity. While in this form, 006 has the tendency to go berserk, and all of these ideas are reflected in the design of 006's monstrous bug form and his transformation process. Your designs should also take into account what kind of role you want them to play. It should be clear through their appearance whether they are a villain, a hero, or something in between. Always remind yourself that less is more and that simplicity will always outweigh overly complex designs. Simple designs will keep the character's silhouette clean and recognizable so that it's easy to pick them out in a crowd. A good silhouette signals the role of the character. Bigger characters are often portrayed as strong but slow, while skinny characters tend to be fast and agile. During my revision process, 006's design was significantly simplified to make him more easily recognizable. At the same time, he kept defining characteristics that make his silhouette immediately evident to the audience. One of the most obvious parts of this simplification process was the removal of the hair and spikes. The hair and spikes distorted his silhouette while also making him needlessly complicated to draw. 006's silhouette is defined by large bulging eyes, fur coats, shorter antennas, and leaner form. The red gem on his forehead, Various stripes on his body and the 006 to the left side of his chest make him easy to pick out. It's important to choose colors that reflect your character's personality. This is a very important aspect that brings it all together. Bright colors often portray bubbly, bright, and happy characters, whereas dark colors often portray brooding, possibly even evil characters. The colors were kept equally simple when it came to his color palette. Sticking with the fly theme, 006 is colored like your average housefly to provoke the feeling of disdain. He has a green-brown carapace, iridescent yellow wings, black limbs, and red eyes. The tan fur coat was an improvised color that matched the rest of the look while still being distinct. 006's palette is very dark because he's a darker take on the superhero genre and being based on the concept of a horror film monster. He's a morally gray character that dances on the edge of sanity. One bad day could push him from a hero to a bloodthirsty beast. The darker color scheme all hints at this darker side to 006's personality. The process of creating a character is rarely a straight path. While there's general guidelines to follow, it's best to just start by spitballing some ideas. Get some variations for your character and don't be afraid to change up your character entirely. Once you've got a final design, you can make any necessary adjustments and decide on a color palette. Always keep in mind to make sure your character's personality and theme shine through, as that is the bread and butter of the character. With all that being said, character design is all about having fun, so don't be afraid to push your character to the extreme, as you can always bring it back and refine the concept as you see fit. Results are always best when you're having fun. That's it. Thanks for watching. See ya.